Wow! What's up, everybody? How is everybody doing? Welcome, 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 and welcome back to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am he, your host, and I have a special treat for you today. Somebody told me it was Women's Month. Well, I have an incredible, talented woman that I cannot wait for you guys to hear from. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. She is a boss. She's incredible. But before I get into all of that, let's get into just stuff, family. How you guys doing? I know you guys have been gone for a week. Yep, it's only been a week. I know you've been waiting for me to come back. But I want you guys to do me a favor, text, call, send a smoke signal, video chat, whatever, and let them know that Let's Talk is Stanley Doucette is on the air right now, baby. They need to listen to this, especially to all of our women out there. I want you guys to hear from one of the most powerful woman that I know across the globe. Yes, yes, yes. So make sure you send in those texts, as I say, call somebody, text somebody, love on somebody, and let them know that Let's Talk and Stanley Doucette is right now running live. I can't wait. Some of you guys may or may not know, but I am actually not in the studio. Yep, I'm somewhere around the country. I'm not letting y'all know where I'm at. I don't want y'all to come look for me. I'm somewhere around the country, but listen, Monday is Monday. So we got to do it live, baby, regardless of anything. So shout out to all of my people in the European Union. Shout out to all of my people in South Africa. I love my Brazilian family and, of course, North America. Listen, shout out my people in New Orleans. I know Mardi Gras is over now. Crawfish are starting to go down from $11 a pound. Now they're starting to go down like it got some sense. But hey, we here, baby. We have arrived. Listen, family, before we finish up and get to this powerful young lady, I want you guys to do me a favor. If you would go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, oh, I'm sorry, what do they call it now? X, um, YouTube, and all of the other social medias. If you guys would do me a favor and just go subscribe, share. I'm rushing because I'm trying to get to this young lady, but subscribe, share, click on the notifications, and especially go to my YouTube channel, because then you'll see the opportunity to see this young lady and all of the cut up we're about to do. It's going to be a cut up. Now, don't let the smooth taste fool you. It's going to be a cut up. It is absolutely going to be a cut up. So listen, let me do this. So now that we got all of the commercials out the way, I didn't rush through everything just to get to an opportunity to converse with this wonderful young lady. So first of all, the young lady, oh, I'm not gonna tell y'all where she's from. I'm gonna let her share because y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. My family crazy. So let me introduce Miss Shanna Barnes. She is an absolute executive. She is a boss. She is powerful. She is a young lady that likes to empower people. She's a young lady that likes to help people. She's a young lady that also likes to, as I messed with her the other day, she likes to, like the finer things in life, guys. She had this, what was it? She had this Louis Vuitton pink strap walking. No, it wasn't Louis Vuitton. It was Tory Burch. Tory Burch. She had a Tory Burch on, she had a Tory Burch shoes on. She was walking. I was like, okay, walking with power, with grace. But seriously, guys, she is an amazing yet humbled individual. The women that she's helping, the men that she's helping, whether it's somebody that's looking to do something in Medicare, Medicaid, planning on retirement, putting themselves in position, whether you need to have a trust, having your will done, making sure it's done right, or just literally talking about the different phases of love. This is an absolute incredible young lady. So without further ado, let me welcome for the first time. It ain't gonna be the last time, but let me welcome for the first time to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, Miss Shanna Barnes. Shanna, what's up, baby? What's good with you?
Hey Stanley, how are you? That's a whole lot to say. We just bumped into each other handing out scholarships to some kids, but glad to
Yeah,
be here to chat with your fam, your folks who listen to you all the time. So they actually have the awesome opportunity to know you a little bit more than I have, but it was certainly great opportunity for us to literally run into each other, have so much in common to talk about really helping our community, empowering folks, and just sharing knowledge. So glad to know that you have this platform and thought enough of me to have me talk with the people. So let's see what we can get into and share today.
Oh, we're gonna share a lot, but let me tell you something. I'm a little thrown off, so I'm not the normal interviewer.
Right.
No telling what's gonna come out of my mouth, as
All
you
right.
witnessed the other day.
Right.
So you never know what's gonna come out. But Shauna, we had the opportunity to be at a particular event together, and we had some incredible time. But one of the things that I noticed about you was the impact that you were having on young people. So I just want to ask you first, where did that passion come from with helping young people in whether it's scholarships or whether get their life together or whatever? Where did that power come from?
Yeah, I think we have a rich heritage just as African American people. But my friends who may listen to this will laugh because I will say it's my grandma. My grandma was humble, humble beginnings, big heart, and was the neighborhood grandma. So she had 12
Okay.
kids of her own, quite a few great grandkids, great grandkids, and I coined myself as one of the favorites. But spent a lot of time around her, under her, just kind of breathing in the life that
Yeah,
she just spread out to the community. So just knowing that you're great, but that doesn't mean much if you don't share it. So from
that's
my
true.
passion to cook and share cooked food to storytelling or just, hugging on somebody. I think
But
also genetically being empathetic, feeling
yeah.
folks around you and being able to connect. So my grandma gets it all. I'm just
So,
humbled to be from
all
her.
right. So you calling up the grandmothers. Let me
Yes,
let me
sir.
I was my grandmother's favorite. You say you appointed, I was my grandmother's favorite. Yes, that was my prayer partner.
Hmm.
So when your grandmother get to praying, you gonna stop rocks, mountains, everything gotta stop because she's about to say something.
Right.
So we understand that. But listen, family, I know you guys are trying to figure out what we're talking about. It's this simple. It's living in triumph. It's literally living in triumph. We understand that so many things are going on around the world. So many negative things. If you watch the news, you only take about 20 seconds to be like, okay, let me click this off because this is not living in triumph. This is turning up everything negative to that. So to you, Lady Barnes, I'm gonna start calling you Elder Bishop Deacon. So to you, Lady Barnes, my question is living in triumph, what does that mean to you?
Triumph is that power to overcome. No matter what you're
Mm,
presented with, there's a way over it, not it taking you over or pulling you down. That you're gonna overcome whatever that situation is. And I think those trials really come to make us strong. Muscles can only be built with you working on them. So I think living in triumph really means no matter what my situation is, I'm gonna find a way to be triumphant. I'm gonna find a way to overcome. And I'm going to use this as a learning experience. I think we get stuck sometimes that the bad is happening, but sometimes that's an opportunity to show us that we need to pivot or do something different. So it really means taking whatever that situation is and overcoming it and learning from it such that you don't repeat those oftentimes as well.
yeah, but what if you don't want to get over it? What if somebody did? Let's listen. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take the tie off at this point. What? Listen, somebody do something wrong to you. I mean, really wrong, and you didn't do anything to deserve that. And you saying, "Oh, it's an opportunity to overcome." No, what if you want beating them in the head or something to make
Yeah.
you feel? Come on, talk to me, lady.
I didn't say it
What's
was
what's
easy. I didn't say it was easy or it was fast, but I think as you mature through situations, you have to reflect and say, I can continue to let it pull me down or get pulled into the rat race of trying to fight a person about a situation. When you're living in triumph, it's non selfish, but you do put yourself first. I got to be best for me. So I can sit here and wallow in your mess with you for 6 weeks, or I can figure out that enough is enough and I'm going to move over this situation with you and maybe deal with you in a different way. We all have situations that we have to, at some point, determine to let go. Let go and let God. I'm from the black church, so
yeah,
we've heard that.
yeah.
But sometimes that really means just letting it go, really letting God deal with it and not taking up any more of my time or my energy or my space. And that may be to give somebody an opportunity to figure things out and you come back around to it. I think the hardest part is with children or that immediate family. You want to hang in there with them and give them another chance. But sometimes you have to give people space to learn a little bit of the lesson and then come back to it. Not, pulling so much for folks
Well,
to
what
do
happened? You know, as we go through this, right? And I like to say as we grow through it,
right.
and you got all of the slangs, like you say, let go and let God, and da 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 da. But let's talk to those individuals for real that's really going through, those
Yeah.
individuals that's depressed, those
Yeah.
individuals that had some real things happen to them in their life. Shauna, how do we get past that?
Yeah.
I do you have any specific practices that you do to help that individual or individuals that are out there listening to get past that real pain? I ain't talking about the fake one, but that
Right.
real pain.
Yeah, I think, a lot of times you have to find that small circle, that network of folks that you can be authentic with. I think a lot of us suffer from trying to hide behind that what's really going on or we can't be honest. And that's the one thing, you can't bear everything for all people, but we do need trusted individuals that we can rely on.
Mm,
Sometimes that's family, sometimes that's not blunt, not blood family, but individuals who you can really be raw with and say, this thing is bigger than me. It's harder
mhm.
than what I thought it was. And even if it's not to help you fix it, just to listen, to get that out. Because one thing I've learned is as you talk stuff out, you kind of hear yourself and you
That's
processing
right.
out loud helps you really get to how big of an issue is it for me with doing those major things I have to get through. Some people it's out of bed just to have somebody on the other side to say, today is a good day. We're gonna start this week and we're gonna get through today. And that's all. What are the 5 things you're thinking about today? Well, let's do 2. We may not be able to do all
Mhm.
5 today. Let's do 2.
Right.
It's really helping having somebody who, everybody has somebody who cares about them, even when it's hard to find them. Even when it's hard to find them.
Really?
And being connected, to that, and
Hmm.
having a conversation with folks to build those connections. It may not be somebody you've had a long-standing relationship with.
Right.
And I think we're put in a place to cast that, even if it's a smile, holding the door for somebody, letting somebody know that there is a reason for them to get up and go out, just being able to do that and having those connections. I think connection with people is so important. And when
Yes.
we isolate and pull ourselves back is often when, things get heavier for folks. So just I encourage folks just to stay connected, find that circle of people that do love you, even if it's hard for them to say that.
Okay. All right. So you sitting there with sophistication and power, right? Don't start. Don't this our secret. Don't start.
Right, right.
So, you know, I think a lot of people hear the wisdom that you're sharing. And, I hear people are probably attracted to the wisdom that you're sharing. But I kind of want to go a little bit deeper. Let's look at it from the mom side. You're
Hmm.
mom of 2 wonderful young men. They're incredible and all of those things. But we had a conversation about some things that you did even to take care of them. But before we get into that, let's talk specifically about you're a mom. You're
Mm.
also a successful businesswoman. But how do you take that momager, if you will, and then help them elevate to places they want to go, and then help them stay out of the eyesight of some of the negative things in the street, whether it's gangs, whether it's drugs, whether it's illegal activities, or any of those things. As mom, talk to me. How did you do that?
Ooh, that one is tough. We might need to load up some extra tape for me to talk about being a mom.
I
I do
understand. Let me know.
I do have 2 dynamic young men, 2 sons, young adults, 23 and 25. I know I don't look like it, but my
Don't
sons
look
are
a day past
indeed
30, baby. Don't
that's
look a
right.
day past
Um,
30.
they are indeed my heartbeat, and I think the one
Mhm.
thing that I struggle with is modeling for them rather than doing for them.
Ooh,
Anybody who knows me
that's good.
knows
That's
they
good.
know my kids are my heart. You want me to knock
Mhm.
you down? You talk about my 2. We're gonna fight. And to
Right.
go from, they're 23 and they're 25, and not treating them like I'm still buckling up in the back of the truck of my car seat. Like
Yeah.
I'm protecting and making sure they're okay. So you really have to shift to modeling by engaging. We had one example. My son had a piece of mail that came to the house, and it was for him. It was his mail, and he said, what did it say? Well, I didn't open it. It's your mail. You need to open it, and if there's a conversation we need to have, we can do that. Versus me taking it and taking it over, and that's a simple
Ooh,
task. But we protect our kids. I call it, we create a marshmallow society. It's sweet and soft all the time for them,
yeah.
but we don't give them the grit sometimes that they need to respond appropriately, to react, to advocate for themselves, to speak up. I need you to be able to take the first pass at it. Now you call me, I'm in your corner. You know if the dirt go dirty or go left, mama's here. But I need you to be prepared and equipped with how to ask the right questions, how to advocate, how to engage as a young man, how to present yourself professionally and appropriately. And also to be astute enough to make sure you ain't being gamed, to make sure that a conversation isn't going left, when to pause, how to move. And we have to start having those conversations earlier now, unfortunately, because the world isn't as bright and rosy as we like to think. So have had quite a few experiences with, raising Black boys in the Southeast, and some engagements that weren't necessarily positive for them, but helping them through it, all the while protecting them from the harshest part.
How did you get past that though? Right? How did you actually do that? Because you said something that I think is incredible. And I think a lot of women for this specific topic need to listen to this. You said modeling versus doing. And
It
so many women, I don't even know how to say that, but I'll just say so many women want to do it
We
for them.
struggle. We definitely struggle, I have to say. And that has to be, this really is where love becomes an action. You
Yeah.
have to do it. And sometimes doing it means stopping yourself. When we were at the event the other day, we were
Hmm.
engaging with young students who were applying for
Yes.
scholarships and stuff. And some of the teachers had brought them, but there are some parents as well. And I remember specifically the action I took in engaging with the student was to talk to the student. And there
That's
was
right.
one mama, she wanted to answer the question. She was doing, all the physical, putting her shoulder in front of the son. And I was like, and both the parents were there. And the dad was taller. He kind of faded to the back. He was kind of nodding, but he wasn't saying anything. And I was intentionally, these are high school seniors trying to go to college.
That's
We
right.
need to connect with you. I was intentionally talking to him, but she was trying to get in their shoulder. So, she wanted to answer. And I could see the pride that this is my child. And I picked up on it. I said, this is your only child, isn't it? And she smiled. And she said, yeah. I said, he's ready. Let me talk to him for a second. And she kind of looked at me like, I can't believe this. But I told her, I said, once he walked away, I finished talking to him. And I told her, I said, the next table, let him do the talking. He's ready. And that's something we have to kind of challenge each other, because we want to go so hard for our kids in many situations. But if we don't let them do it, how will they know when we're not there? And so that's the thing I challenge myself with, is how can my son manage business at the bank, or,
Yes.
jobs, not just the job interview. They're not go, you're not going to go to the job with them. And especially for our parents who are helping them navigate in school and dealing with teachers and professors, you're not
Right.
with them. So you taking away and fighting a fight on the phone doesn't help that child become an adult in the place of you, when they're dealing with other adults. So I think it's important
Yeah.
for us to model, to say, here's something you can say, you know, when that happened. Well, what did you say? Well, how did it go? So replaying versus just doing it, and throwing the towel in for them.
Do you think, we've had some success. Obviously, even though mess with you probably half the night talking about, oh, okay, here she go. But serious talk, you're a boss and you have the opportunity to hire and all of those incredible things. At the same time, how do you think, I should say, do you think we have, because of the successes that we've had, that upper middle class neighborhood, and, some of us have the opportunity to stay in a gated community, or it may not be gated, but you have a house on a hill and you have, X amount of square feet. with this wonderful basement and games and all that. Do you think we have done our children a disservice as parents to not so much that we want to celebrate our successes, obviously, but how do now we get to that point? Is it a disservice to let our children kind of be in that space or not take them back to quote unquote the hood to see what it's like to have, to walk to the store or, get on a public service or public transportation or something to like, this is what it is. People do this every day. Just because we have a Maserati and a Aston Martin and, we got the Beamer or whatever other vehicle that you may have, people sitting there. So you think we did them a disservice?
I'll say ouch. And yes, in a number of ways.
Oh, come on. Come
In a
on,
number
elder
of
lady.
ways we do. And I mean, that's that whole protection that you try to feel for your kids and wanting to make sure that they don't experience any pain. But, especially for African American kids who grow up in a a world that's not quite sure how to treat them or what they perceive. It's important for us to let them know what I see in you is indeed who you are, but not everybody else has that experience.
Yes.
And also, we live in a society where there is such disparity of everything. And so, only showing our kids our slice of it is excluding a whole element of society from them. And we have to normalize. Unfortunately, poverty is a part of what we experience, but that doesn't mean folks that live in poverty are less. So we really perpetuate that same situation. It may not be race motivated, but it is classes of us when we are the haves and others are the have nots, and neither shall the
That's
twain
right.
meet on the course of our week. So we have to definitely integrate conversations about, some of the differences that people may experience, but it doesn't make them less of a person. And I
That's right.
don't mean, busting our wonderful, upper privileged kids up to serve meals on Thanksgiving. Yeah, we're gonna do that anyway. But I really think in a meaningful way.
Wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Time out. Time out.
But
Time out. Time out. Time out. This is a pet peeve of mine. Not you, but it's a pet peeve of mine. And this is why I say that. Yes, we want to help serve the less fortunate on holidays and all that
right,
stuff. But what happened in July? What's
absolutely,
going
and
on in
that's the point.
August? What's going on
That's the
in May?
point.
Right?
Don't right. Don't point. Jack and Jill mom. Don't pat yourself on the back because y'all go serve lunch
Ooh,
on
did you say Jack and
Thanksgiving.
Jill
I
mom?
did.
Girl.
Sorry, I can talk
Oh
about
no, you good. You good with
it.
me?
Yeah. And I'm just using that as an example. Please, no association come after me. I'm not being disparaging. But I'm just saying, taking on the lifestyle of, we like to say DEI. We need to be inclusive in our own communities as well. We are a part of a full community. We have a full gambit of everything. And sometimes when we separate and segregate ourselves and be around the light community, the light, you exclude so much of a full, well-rounded experience from our kids. So my kids have, they played AAU basketball in some of the areas that were probably not the most affluent in my city on purpose. We
Hmm.
traveled. I had bonus kids in the back of the truck that stayed with me for 3 to 6 weeks during the course of the season, and I did their laundry with my kids because we did as well. And just building those authentic friendships, regardless of your zip code. And we have
Yes,
to do more of
you the
that.
team mom. Yeah, you the team neighborhood
I
mom. You
was.
want everybody.
We gonna do this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you would allow us in the stands, huh?
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
might have
get it.
gotten
I get
thrown
it.
out of a gym. I might have gotten thrown out of a gym or two before,
Once or two, get
once or
there. And
twice.
hey, we here for it.
And the parents from the South Central were the worst. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. Wait,
Right.
just real quick, just for audiences in different parts of the world, they may not know what DEI stands for. Could you share that
Absolutely.
with them?
Oh yeah. With the unfortunate murder of George Floyd and that sort of thing that we experienced in the country, right? All in the midst of being in a pandemic and all that as well. Um, a lot of American corporations established goals and objectives for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it was around race and color most often. There's always been policies around including women, but there was really a big focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion across corporate bands. Some of that's changing a little bit now, but there was a huge focus such that, everybody was hiring a diversity, equity, and inclusion leader or, some sort of chief executive that reported either to human resources or even to the president of the company in some areas. But it was always about including, equal opportunities for growth and advancement and even hiring across,
Yeah.
different race categories in different areas. So I think we look at that corporately, but I really challenge us to look at those inclusive or equity thought in our own personal
Mhm.
lives and say, do all of my friends, even in my own community, look like me? We all go to the same school. We all end up at the same church. We all drive the same, we're in the same neighborhood. What about others that look exactly like me that I don't include on a regular basis? You
Right.
know, so that's
So what are
kind
we
of,
going to do? Right.
yeah,
So, all
we
right.
pay
So
attention.
I know it's difficult, and we can talk about the mom and the dad stuff for
We
probably the next 2 weeks, right? And just those things. So shout out to you and applaud you to helping and assisting with those individuals that may not have had the opportunity or those coins, as I like to say, to travel or to fly. So you and your children may have been like, well, let's get on a plane. But then you got Bobby and Jerome and whoever, right? All right, we're gonna drive, right? Now our kids may be like, why are we driving? We driving. You
correct.
know what I mean? We driving.
Hmm.
So I want to give you a hand clap and shout you out for doing that because those are those things that most people don't want to celebrate. You come. Let's keep it 100. You coming out your own pocket for somebody else, child or
Hmm.
children,
Hmm.
and the first thing they do is something go wrong. They don't call home. They call you.
Hmm.
Oh, well, Miss Barnes, this what happened. What should I do? So now you become mom to bonus children.
Absolutely.
It so you come that. So now when that happens, so I just want to celebrate that, but I want to move into a different part of that and go into the part of you being a boss, business side of things
Hmm.
as a woman. You talk about DEI. I know it didn't happen overnight for you. I know we only look 30 and I
Right.
get it, but we didn't went through something.
Right.
We didn't went through some things. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the real side of it about, I know some ladies, some friends that are out there that have been through hell
Hmm.
and just don't understand. I have all of this, but I'm making 60% or 60 cent on a dollar to
Hmm.
my male counterpart. So talk to
Hmm.
me about it.
That's a hard one. I actually have worked at pretty large organizations and had some success, but it wasn't without sometimes sacrificing who you are as a whole person at work to get there. And really kind of holding some stuff in for the benefit of the right time to kind of get yours, if that makes sense.
Right.
I worked at an organization, for 15 years, and oftentimes I was in roles doing far more than,
Yeah.
my counterparts that didn't look like me. And I just had to believe that I was going to have the right opportunity to demonstrate that value. I remember having one opportunity presented. I presented as an opportunity because that's what it was. Where I was up for I applied for a elevated position, and I knew I was the most qualified.
Hmm.
And I was even championed as the one who should get the position. And I did it. And that was the first time. So I took it on the chin a little bit because Shauna's not used to not winning. I'm like, what do
That's
you
right.
mean? I didn't get the role. And what I was told was, yeah, you're the most qualified and you're probably the right person for the position, but it's not your turn.
Ooh.
Not my turn.
Ooh.
Okay,
Wow.
gotcha. And I was immediately, given the feedback. Feedback is the little buzzword that kind of gets me a little tapped over here. But anyway, I was given the feedback that it would be best if I could just support that person in the role and be there for them. And
So
I
do
thought
their
about it.
job. So
Yeah,
do
while they
their
were doing the
job.
job. And, okay, we can ride that out. But I thought about it and I said, I'm not gonna be surly, but I'm not giving away all this gray matter anymore. Y'all want them to do it? Let them do it. So I immediately in my follow-up conversation pulled out my job description and said, okay, I'm grateful to have the role that I have, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm no longer doing all the other stuff that was the other job. So let's make this very transactional. You're getting the full benefit of me, but you don't want to, take advantage of me for that. So that's fine. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not going to change how I'm going to show up. But every day I'm going to look at this job description and we're going to stay within the bounds of this contract. And that, may not have been perceived well, but I think the one thing I've had to learn as a woman and especially as a Black woman who can be perceived as, argumentative or a little,
Not you.
you know, you guys can be aggressive and, that sort of thing.
Ooh, ooh.
Is to not
Yeah.
take it because I realize that everybody brings who they are wherever they go. You can't leave part of you at home. So a lot of what I'm getting responded to is not me, is their perception of somebody else who may have been similar to me or some fear they have about what I might represent for them. So I have to be authentically who I am, but also set the limits on what I'm willing to give. If this is going to benefit me in the short term, great. But if it's going to continue to be a long term drag for me, there's no value there. I'm going to do what I'm being paid to do and look for the next opportunity. I stayed at an organization for 15 years and was, received progressive promotions and that sort of thing. But it was hard. It was very difficult at times to just kind of sit back and not react, but to be thoughtful and respond at the right time. That's the
Say
one
that
thing as
again.
Black women. I say we can't react all the time. We want to tell them what we know right now, quick, cut them out. Sometimes we just have to sit back and wait until the right time to respond. Grace
Family.
in the way we know. So
Family. Y'all, I'm laughing because I can see that emotion coming out. They kind of brought a little something back. She had all of the mouth movements and everything. She like like she wanted to get at somebody right then and there.
I was I was interviewing a young lady one time for a while. I used to interview for positions in different parts of the US. And this young lady was from New Jersey. And she was from a kind of, tough part of New Jersey. And this was a professional role and stuff. And we were talking somehow, and she was like, the best thing you have to do is you have to learn how to code switch. And I was just kind of chuckling because, basically she was saying you got to be able to brag, but you also have to be a boss as well. So my thing is, you have to be able to go from the boardroom to the ballroom to wherever else you got to go, all in 12 hours without, flipping a beat. And that's just who we are as African American women. And when you talk about being empowered, I don't see that, or I haven't taken it on as a negative. I take it on as
Yeah.
a gift that a lot of people just don't have. They haven't been exposed or have that expectation to be so many things. It's a gift that, women have to be able to master that nurturing,
That's
protective,
right.
provision, all of that. And then the mastery of it is pulling it all out 24 hours without driving yourself nuts, and serving, what you need to the every constituent you have in your everyday life. So I find it as a wild ride that, worthwhile. So I can be a loving mom and a tight boss and a, great leader and empowering to somebody all in the same, same day. It's just what we
All
do.
on the same day.
Why not?
All on the same day.
Why
Yep.
not?
And give it to them.
Give it
All
to
right.
them. Sometimes they got to get it.
Hey, it is what it is.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So we talk about that, right? So we talked about the business side and we talked about the mom side. We talked about just a little bit about who you are, but now I think is the most important part of who you are, your spirituality,
Hmm.
right? How did that, we talk about living in triumph, but how that when you start putting those pieces together from the mom to I'll say the bonus mom, right? The community mom, the community boss, the community friend, all of those individuals and all of those things, how then now does that fit into your spirituality? not religion. I'm saying that in first and intentional. But how does that fit into your spirituality? I know a little something about that as we conversed, but how does that now fit into your spirituality? I should say your spirituality begins to bring all of that together. Elder, bishop, deacon.
No, my spirituality is my framework. And, I know now we have folks that talking about diversity and inclusion, we talk about spirit in different ways, but for me, it's God. I'm Christian 100%. God is a spirit, and those that worship Him must do so in spirit and in truth. So
Go
my
ahead and quote. Go ahead and
boundary,
quote. Go ahead and quote that thing, girl.
the the
Go ahead and
the,
quote
the
that thing.
guiding boundary. When I think triumph, is I know, God has had a plan for me before I even got here.
Mhm.
And, before I even showed up in the cosmos, there was a plan for my life. And
Go ahead,
the
Jeremiah.
thing, the
Come on
thing
through,
that is
Jeremiah. Come
so
on through,
important,
Jeremiah.
and I think that's the amazing thing for me is that things happen that had to be ordained by God for us to even come across. So that's why I don't see things as a negative as much as I used to, because God has brought me through so much to be able to experience the joy, the pleasure, the happiness that I have, that it makes the sadness, the disappointments, and the upset only a part of it. So,
Oh,
so that is my guiding truth, that God has a plan for me here. The people that I'm intended to come across, God put them in my place. I don't care if it's the person, eat begging on the side of the road. I might be the only person that got $5. Okay. Lord, if I got it, they can have it. Something simple. I think we become too super spiritual sometimes and try to overanalyze. We got to get out of the way and let God's plan work itself out. And if He's equipped you, how do we stay connected with Him to trust Him, to know that? And I just sit back and laugh sometimes, like just like you and I meeting each other. We're in a big space with thousands of people, and you made a joke, and I joke back, and before you know it, we're talking, and we realize we have like six things in common. How does that, even happen? So I just
right.
kind of pause and say, when you have an opportunity to engage with people, sometimes that's the moment. That's all it is. You just need to take the opportunity to there to say, God put us together in this moment for a reason. I don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to overanalyze it, but yeah, my spirituality is definitely rooted in the fact that, God is it, the center of my joy for real, in terms of where I get, strength from to even have an impact. And I know you said counter by a little inside joke. I don't think I'm that special. I really don't. I really think that, what
Really?
God has invested in me was indeed, a part of His plan for me to live out my life here on earth.
Well, we're gonna disagree then, because you are special.
Well,
I
thank
know
you.
that's you want to be humble, and we had that conversation. I'm not gonna rehash our
Thank you.
conversation we had, but yeah, you are special.
Well, thank
And I
you.
think that's one of the things that I'm very, very sharp about in letting young ladies, young men, women, or men know that you are somebody special. I don't care what other people say. You are still someone special. You are still the grandchild of your grandmother.
Oh,
As you
now
would
you can
say,
make me
the
stand up.
community. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. You got to, right?
Right.
So now you can't say I'm not somebody special when you had a grandmother that's been praying for you since you was, a peanut. So
Right.
now that you've grown up and she's in glory, you
Right.
can't turn around and say, I'm not special. Girl, you just spit
Right.
in your grandmother's face. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm fussing now. I'm mad.
Okay.
You talk about
Okay.
I got a little soft heart for grandmother. So if
Yes.
y'all didn't know,
Right.
but seriously, you are someone special, right?
Right.
Think about this, right? And I'm saying not just to you, but I'm saying for all of the ladies that, ladies, a lot of times, especially African American women, have been beat down so much that when they achieve something or they are special, a lot of times they downplay it
Right. You're
because
right.
they don't want to come across as saying boastful or, like you said,
Right.
I'm in your face and because I have a doctorate. No, you are someone special. Do not allow the negative thoughts of ignorant people to infiltrate who you really are and allow you to bow down to that negative energy. No, that's not who you are. You are a boss. You are my girl. You know, we friends, we cool, all that stuff. But you walking in a particular power that most men can't even comprehend because of all of the things you're doing, not just for your sons, not just for your grandmother, but for bonus children, for people that's inside of your church, people that's outside of the church, and all of those things. So no, nah, we gonna fuss on that one.
All right,
You
then.
somebody special.
Truth,
Yeah,
truth.
don't.
We're gonna call it truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you don't like people to talk great about you, but it's too bad. Too bad.
But
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna do it anyway.
thank you.
So in that, right? We've talked about your you know your stuff that you're doing in terms of being a boss. We talked about the mom side. We talked about your spiritual side. So now here's where the rubber meets the road.
Uh-oh.
Talking to 100 and plus different countries around the world, baby. You got people from everywhere listening in to you, Lady Barnes. My question, I just want to open up the floor to you and share what's on your heart to those women that's out there. We're starting Women's Month. So all of the women that's out there, what is something that you would love to leave with them? As long as just share it, put it out there, something to leave with them. So when they walk away, they hear this, they're like, they may never hear you again, but they got this to come back to and listen and say, you know what? Shauna Barnes told me this, and I'm gonna ride with this.
Yeah. One of the things that I think every woman has deep down inside is that little still small voice, that women's intuition, that gut, that grit, that mother wit, whatever you want to call it, that really steers them and spurs them to move on. And I say, honor it, nurture it, feed it, take a moment to really center yourself as often as you can so that you can continue to hear that, so that those negative influences or whatever your situation is doesn't drown it out. It's the thing that helps women who are in abusive situations find a way to get out. It's the things that keep us connected even when we don't have the best upbringing or when we experience grief or loss. So hold on to that little extra. Women do have that. Women's intuition is real. There's something special about women. We're the only ones who can give life. There's something special about us. So protect that, nurture it, hold on to it. Know that even if it's not natural, like the words and stuff that we speak mean something to people. It means a lot to come from a mom or from an auntie or a good friend, and to stay connected to that. And it's okay to be tender and nurturing and soft and a woman. It's perfect, even though you're doing those other things. So continue to honor that intuition, that femininity. Hold on to it. Be proud that you are a woman, and that means something for generations just because you are a woman.
That's powerful. You know, as you were talking, there's two things that popped into my head. I thought we was about to end, but two things popped into my head. One, you have been talking a lot about authenticity,
Hmm.
right? And then the second thing is that as you were talking, it was a question, and I'm gonna just give it to you and let you run with it. And it was, can you talk to those ladies that are out there that's struggling, whether it's like you said, abusive relationships, struggling financially, or just struggling with their who they are, whatever it may be. So can you do that first and then authenticity, or authenticity first and then that? So I'm gonna just open it up to. I don't like people to have my platform like this, but all right, you all right.
Yeah. I mean, authenticity, it's a big word or whatever, but simply put, it's just being true to yourself. And that
Yeah.
starts, I think it will kind of answer both questions, answer the question as well. And it's giving space for self love, finding
Hmm.
that time for you, putting yourself first, your best interest at heart is not being selfish. Really spending time to care for yourself and finding value in yourself, regardless of what your situation is. When you pause and you see a smile or something that you like about you, you may not see it every day, but go back to the place when you did feel good about yourself. When you know there's something about you that has a redeeming quality, you have to hold on to it like a treasure, like, putting it in a box. Even if you have to write yourself a note, remember the time you felt the best about yourself. If you're not in a good situation now, write that memory down. Keep it in your sock if that's the only place you have to put it. And find time to pull that out, to read it, to reflect on it, to make it your goal to get back to that place, even in your heart and your mind. You may not be able to get there in your physical place every day, but hold on to that. And I know, with some of the challenges and stuff I've, gone to or whatever, that's what I've had to hold on to. There are some good things about me that are going to always be about me. And I have to anchor onto those. You can't take away anything from me that I don't allow you to take away. And that is indeed, powerful to hold on to that.
Wow. 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 So those young ladies, I don't know, just keep coming back to me, but for those young ladies that are going through, please heed the advice of what Shauna just talked about. It is absolutely incredibly important for you to listen to that advice. You are powerful, you are special, and you are not a throwaway. So
At all.
let's move in that direction. Listen, guys, we're about to close out, but I want to say this. Shauna is a powerful speaker. And I know a lot of times she's humble and she's kind of like, no, Stanley, I don't want to promote anything. I'm good. We cool,
Right.
we good. But I'm sorry, I'm not listening to you. This is my show. So we listen, family, if you're in need of a speaker, a powerful woman speaker, this is your lady. This is your lady. She is dynamic and she's going to give it to you. She is going to drop jewels and gems and diamonds and pearls and everything in the middle to make sure we have what we need. And she's going to do it with excellence. She's going to be on time and she's not going to be one of them people you got to keep running behind to get answers and stuff. She is going to be on top of it. So, would you do me a favor? And how could the family get in touch with you? How's the way they can get in touch with you, Lady Elder Bishop Barnes?
see, see, I said we weren't going to do this. Stanley, and you did not follow directions, so I'm gonna send them back to your page. No, but
Okay.
certainly
That's
no. I can certainly share, my email and stuff, and you can tag it in the post, and be glad, to have individuals reach out to me that way. And certainly, if there's any messages or whatever, I'll stay connected with you to follow up with individuals that way. But this is the hardest part for me, like you said, kind of self promotion. So y'all call Stanley and he'll get in touch with me. But yeah, I'll put my email out there, barnes.sauna@gmail.com, and I'll certainly take a look at those and see if there's anybody who has need of questions and stuff like that.
well, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, the most important part of the show is what we're about to do.
What's that?
This is the most important part of the show. Shout out to everybody that knows what's about to happen.
Uh-oh.
All right. So you ready?
I'm ready.
So at the very beginning of the show, you heard me and I gave some love to the city I was born in, which is New Orleans. And
Yeah.
I shout my folks out and all of those things. And one of the things we do is there's this I'll just say call or whatever that we do, right? And it just, we do. So I ask all of our guests, would you shout out our city one good time for your mind? But I'm gonna do it first because I don't want you to mess this up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
don't put your
God.
head down. Do you have to put your earbuds back in?
Uh-oh.
All right, so I'm gonna do it one time, and then after that, I'm gonna open the door for you to do it. All right?
Okay.
You ready?
Okay, I think so.
I love it. This incredibly intelligent, sophisticated woman. She about to do the call. All right, you ready?
I'm
It's
ready.
simple. It just go why. Let me hear you do it. Uh-oh, here she go.
Wah.
Lady
Oh,
Vaughn shot you. Oh my goodness. Listen, I truly appreciate you hopping on. You our first guest for the month.
Excellent.
Lady, I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for all of the jewels and the diamonds that you dropped on our family. Thank you for being a part of the show. Obviously, you know this is not going to be your last time. There are so
Okay.
many other subjects we're going to talk about
Wonderful.
that you are absolute expert in. And for those caregivers, we're going to do another show. I did a show on caregiving before. We're going to do another show, but it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to talk about Medicare and Medicaid, which
Excellent.
is Shauna is an absolute expert in. But we're gonna do that a little bit later. So, y'all come back and we're gonna do some amazing things together. So, Lady Elder Bishop Bones, love you, lady. Thank you so much. I appreciate you
This was
so much.
fun.
So we're gonna close out Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Don't forget to go to all of the social media platforms. You want to shout out your social media? Because I know you kind of like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, so so go to all of the social media platforms for Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette.
Perfect.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel. Go check us out. All of the previous seasons are also housed on our website, Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com. You can go there and listen from season 1 all the way up now. Can y'all believe we in season 4?
Wow.
Season 4. Wow. So again, thank you for allowing us to live in triumph with you, Lady Barnes. I appreciate you. So family, we'll see you guys next week. And I love y'all. Y'all be good. And I'll see you guys on the beaches of the world. Have a great, great day. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
And we out.